Born in Miami to stunned parents because he came early, Sidney Poitier was the son of tomato farmers who grew up in one of the most remote islands in the Caribbean. He would later become the first black actor to win an Academy Award for Best Actor, and tonight, as you would imagine, tributes are pouring in as we remember a legend. Our David Muir on Poitier's iconic life.
Amen. Amen.
Sidney Poitier, the gifted Hollywood actor, the civil rights trailblazer.
Why you black? Go ahead and say it.
His roles did not ignore the times.
I drive a man around in his limousine and I say, yes, sir, and no, sir, and shall I take the drive, sir? Mama, that ain't no kind of job. That ain't nothing at all.
He was born in Miami and raised in the Bahamas on his father's tomato farm. He'd moved to Harlem as a teenager and worked as a dishwasher, trying out for roles, remembering being turned away by a director.
I did decide then, at that moment, on that street, that I am going to be an actor just to show him that he was wrong about me.
He earned a place in a theater acting school after volunteering to work as a janitor without pay, and later from New York to Hollywood. In 1950, at the age of 22, playing a doctor in the groundbreaking film on racism, No Way Out.
There is a possibility that I killed him, isn't there? Don't be a fool. That I was careless in the spinal tap. That his brother's Negro baiting got me down.
Poitier's leading roles, men of dignity and quiet determination, which was how he conducted himself in life.
I became interested in the civil rights struggle out of a necessity to survive. And I think my interest started many years ago, never as intensely, however, as it exists today.
In 1963, he played handyman Homer Smith in Lilies of the Field.
Get yourself another boy.
The winner is Sidney Poitier.
That role earning him the Academy Award, becoming the first black performer to win a Best Actor Oscar in a leading role.
It is a long journey to this moment.
By 1967, Poitier had become one of Hollywood's top-earning leading men.
What do they call you up there?
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
In the heat of the night,
There was a time when I could have had you shot.
that same year,
Mom, this is John. So pleased to meet you.
in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, part of an interracial couple pushing through boundaries.
Well, we have this problem. I fell in love with your daughter.
The conversation with his father.
I'm your son. I love you. I always have, and I always will. But you think of yourself as a colored man. I think of myself as a man.
In 2002, awarded an honorary Oscar for his life's work, Poitier thanked those in Hollywood who took a chance on him and who believed in a changing America.
Those filmmakers persevered, speaking through their art to the best in all of us. And I benefited from their effort. The industry benefited from their effort. America benefited from their effort.
It was that same night Halle Berry, the first black lead actress to win an Oscar. Denzel Washington would earn an Oscar too for Best Lead Actor.
40 years I've been chasing Sidney. They finally give it to me. What they do? They give it to him the same night. I'll always be chasing you, Sidney. I'll always be following in your footsteps. There's nothing I would rather do, sir. Nothing I would rather.
In 2009, Poitier receiving the Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor from President Barack Obama. And the moment the two men, who both had made history, appeared to acknowledge it. Tonight, tributes from around the world. Oprah Winfrey saying, "For me, the greatest of the great trees has fallen, Sidney Poitier. My honor to have loved him as a mentor, friend, brother, confidant, wisdom teacher." Tonight, as the country celebrates a man who broke barriers with his quiet, steady way, the simple lesson from his mother.
Always say thank you and please. It was remarkable how many times thank you and please
opened doors for me.
An amazing career and life. Our thanks to David for that. Joining us now is a dear friend of ABC News Live, ABC News contributor LZ Granderson. LZ, thanks so much for being here to remember the great Sidney Poitier. You actually had the honor of working with him. I reposted a tweet that you put out today with this scene in it. How old were you and what was that like?
Wow. I was 24. When I met Sidney Poitier, and I was an actor, obviously, that's how I got into film, but I was also an academic. I was pretty hell-bent on going into journalism at this point in my life and was kind of winding up the career in theater and in film. And the time that I got to spend with Sidney Poitier was so life-affirming because, he reminded me of the importance of dignity and having dignity in everything that I did, and remembering that whether I felt that way or not, that there were always eyeballs on me and that I was always a representation of my community, of being a black man in America. And he didn't say it with this level of sort of like fear or disdain. He said it in this gentle, loving way of the way that your grandmother or maybe your grandfather would say, represent the family well. Like, we've raised you up, now go out and do well in this world. And that is really the way that, Sidney Poitier spoke to me, during our breaks on set. And I noticed that was the way he spoke to a lot of black actors on set, during that time in which I was with them. He really wanted to make sure we knew it was important that we used our platforms, whatever platforms there were, that we did so representing the best of us because everyone expected the worst.
He won his Academy Award, as we mentioned, in 1964. And we are talking about a time where racial tension was so high in this country. He also participated in advancing equality. How superhuman was it for him to achieve so much during a time where some people didn't even think he had the right to share the same water fountain?
I will never understand, why God chose him. I would never understand, why Sidney Poitier accepted the challenge. I'm just grateful that God did and he did. Because you're absolutely correct. We're talking Jackie Robinson of Hollywood, if you will, in a lot of ways, in which not only was he oftentimes, all the time, the only one in the space, but he wasn't always surrounded by encouragement and love while he was in that space. And he could not allow himself to show his anger because that's what they wanted to see. He wouldn't give his enemies or those who wanted to see him fail or his detractors the benefit of seeing him be impacted by the negativity. And I don't know where he got the strength to do that. I really don't. Decade after decade after decade of trying to walk into these rooms in Hollywood. I mean, think about it. We just had a hashtag Oscars So White. These are supposed to be the better times. So imagine what he was dealing with when he was trying to make his way in that world as an actor, as a dark-skinned actor at that. That's important too, because the colorization aspect of this conversation should not be downplayed. He's a dark-skinned black man trying to break it and make it into what was essentially an all-white industry. And if you were black in that industry, it was in a subservient role, and he refused to play those roles. And he had the strength to stand up and do all of that while also maintaining the dignity and the black boy joy of being able to be on stage or being able to be in film to portray these amazing characters. He was a remarkable man, and I am forever grateful for the time he invested in me, as well as the time that he shared with so many others who looked up to him for guidance and direction.
Jackie Robinson of Hollywood, a beautiful way to put it. In the limited time we have left, we want to mention that beyond the U.S., Poitier was a hero for his native Bahamas. After Hollywood, he became an ambassador, as you know, to Japan for the nation. And today the Prime Minister tweeted, "Our country is in mourning, and so I have instructed that the Bahamian flag be flown at half-mast at our home and around our embassies around the world. We know the world mourns with us." Calling for flags to be lowered makes it very clear that he was much more than an actor to this country and its people, right?
Absolutely. And he was much more than an actor to us here in the United States as well. He was a humanitarian. He was a civil rights activist. And he perpetually reminded us of our better selves. And so I was glad to see that his native country responded to his passing in this way, because he should not be viewed simply as an actor that have moved on. He was so much more than that, and I will think about him often. You know, it's just I'm trying not to cry because he meant that much to me in my youth, and I can only imagine what it was like for so many people back home, as well here in the States, to see that face on the big screen doing the damn thing.
Well, we can see it in your face and we can hear it in your voice. Thank you so much. Our thoughts, of course, with you and his family tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.